This is the 6th of August, 2024. Yeah, I posted a couple of clips on the weather and Debby, the tropical storm that turned into a hurricane. And I said people need to listen to the warnings that they're given. And for those that don't, well, I expect the number will die. Article put up by Fox Weather. Debbie's wrath leaves at least 5 dead in Florida, Georgia, as tropical storm continues to lash southeast. The Category 1 hurricane made landfall near the community of Steinstelt around 7 a.m. Eastern time on Monday, with winds estimated to be around 80 miles an hour, but Debby has since weakened to around a minimal tropical storm. I guess that's good news. Let's listen to this 3-minute and 35-second clip.
South Carolina, as Debby moves up to the north out there with over 3,000 remaining without power. Charleston is on flood watch until Friday morning.
Yeah, Fox Weather storm specialist Mike Seidel this morning is in Isle of Palm, South Carolina. That's just east of Charleston. It's a barrier island out there. Mike, you were in Florida and Steinhatchee at the exact spot where Debby made landfall as a hurricane yesterday. You know, how does where you're at right now compare with what you were dealing with yesterday?
Well, certainly it's a lot less windy. The storm has weakened from the wind perspective, and it is a tropical storm, 45-mile-an-hour maximum sustained winds. We're still getting gusts out on the beach, up to 40 miles an hour. Charleston Battery, that area, and out towards the buoy, we've got wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. And offshore, buoys reporting wave heights up to 13 feet. So there's some pretty big waves crashing on the beach, and we'll likely get out there later this morning once we get some daylight. The big concern, again, for the rest of the week, I mean, how often do we see flood watches that go for 4 or 5 days? And the Weather Prediction Center, WPC, has a high risk of flash flooding. Yesterday, today, the next couple of days, for 4 days in a row. That is also highly unusual. And you can see behind me there is a lot of standing water on the side of the road. This whole area is underwater. So everything is super saturated. All we need is some training, some heavy rain coming into the area, and this road would be covered up. Notice on the radar we have 2 kind of fire hoses of rainfall this morning. One is coming up towards Myrtle Beach, the Grand Strand, and Georgetown, but the more significant rainfall is coming in between Folly Beach and around Kiowa. This is down the coast, just south of Charleston, south and southwest of Charleston, and that's coming inland, and those are the rainfall rates of 1 inch or more an hour. Flood watch, as we heard, till 9 a.m. Friday morning for Charleston, ends, I believe, on Thursday in Savannah, and there's a flash flood warning for this area until later on this morning. That will likely be extended. Yesterday, Charleston had a record rainfall of about 4.5 inches. They've added on to that. They're now up to about 5 1/3 inches. But local amounts have been up to 10 inches. And as we saw yesterday in Live Oak, flash flood emergency, and those areas picked up 12 to 13 inches of rain. We were there for that yesterday, and we'll show you some pictures. I mean, most of the downtown area was underwater. So we've got light rain this morning, nothing significant. A lot of things have closed today because of the risk of flooding, and we'll just see how it shakes out from here. But the big problem is there's no steering flow, and when you look at the cone for the past couple of days and the new cone that just came out at 5 a.m. Eastern, it's not a cone, it's a big circle. And it really doesn't get picked up by a cold front in the jet stream till Friday night and Saturday. That'll zip it up and out of the way. So no drying here until the weekend. In the meantime, it's it's touch and go on the localized flash flooding. Right now we're looking okay here in Isle Palms, standing water around the area, but there's some areas where it is just adding up, like I mentioned, south and southwest of Charleston. As the storm comes off the coast and festers for several days, and it may actually come back in, gentlemen, based on the latest National Hurricane Center forecast track.
Yeah, that's a major concern, and we'll see if that strengthens or not, but it's that constant onshore wind and those constant bands of rain. Mike Seidel, a Fox Weather Storm Specialist, thank you so much. We will check in with you throughout the morning. We appreciate your reports.
Well, you heard what was said, huh? Steinhatchee, Florida. At least 5 deaths are being attributed to Hurricane Debby as the now tropical storm continues to slowly churn off to the northeast after making landfall along Florida's Big Bend region early Monday morning. The Category 1 hurricane made landfall near the community of Steinshee around 7 a.m. Eastern Time, with winds estimated to be around 80 miles an hour. But Debby has since weakened to around a minimal tropical storm. Take a look at the photographs. I mean, the water's probably about 3 feet deep right there. The images show major flooding in Sarasota, Florida from Tropical Storm Debby. After the deadly storm made landfall, a combination of torrential rain and flash flooding, damaging winds, and life-threatening storm surge caused power outages to skyrocket, with nearly 300,000 utility customers being knocked offline at the peak, according to Power Outage US. Children among 5 dead from Debby in Florida and Georgia. In Florida, at least 4 people, including 2 children, were killed as a result of Hurricane Debby, according to officials. A 38-year-old woman and a 12-year-old boy, both from Crawfordville, were killed in a crash just before 9:30 p.m. Sunday after their car lost control and hit a guardrail on U.S. Highway 19. Witnesses said it appeared as though the vehicle lost control because of the inclement weather and wet roadway. See photographs there. Watch Sarasota residents rescued as floodwaters from Debby rise. They're being picked up by an airboat. In Levy County, officials said a 13-year-old boy was killed early Monday morning after a tree fell on his home. No other injuries were reported, according to deputies. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family as they deal with this tragedy, the sheriff's office said. We encourage everyone to use extreme caution as they begin to assess and clean up the damage. Downed power lines and falling trees are among the many hazards. One life is too many. Please be safe. The Florida Highway Patrol is investigating after a semi-truck driver lost control on a wet roadway and crashed into the Tampa Bypass Canal. Maybe he should have slowed down. A 4th death was reported after a tractor-trailer being driven by a 64-year-old New Alabama, Mississippi man lost control on Interstate 75 near the Tampa Bypass Canal and collided with a concrete barrier. Officials said the trailer came to rest hanging off the side of the bridge while the cab separated and fell into the water below. Divers from Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department located the cab submerged about 40 feet below the surface of the water, and the driver was found dead inside. In South Georgia, an additional death was reported on Monday evening by Calicut County Emergency Management. Officials said a 19-year-old man was killed after a tree fell on his home north of the Florida-Georgia border. Well, boy, they're going to get a lot of rain. Savannah's going to get between 18 and 24 inches, as is Charleston. Raleigh, around 5 to 8 inches, according to the map. After roaring ashore on Monday, Debby was downgraded to a tropical storm, but that doesn't make it any less dangerous. I'll attach the link. Look at the photographs. Pass it along and stay safe.